Hello everyone, it's Shanna. Now today I'm going to be working with Kendra's Card Challenge Bonus Printable March 2024. It's a black and white, and I've just got one piece of it here. And this is, I had trouble with my printer when printing, and so I had kind of a bad page, and this was on there. And I thought, before I start working with the whole set, I'm just going to go ahead and foil this sheet and see how well it foils and everything. I wasn't certain if my printer was the right type of printer so that I'd get a good foiling. And so I wanted to just give this a try, and I thought I would just work with this panel here. I've got the Gina K Fuse, and I'm using Pink and Main gold cheer foil that I had on hand. And I've just got a piece of purple copy paper here that I've laid my sheet in, and I'm waiting for my machine to heat up so that I can foil this. So now it's heated up, and I'm going to run this through here real quick and see how it does. Now I'm choosing to do sketches 1 and 2 of Kendra's Card Challenge 14 with this particular panel. I think they're interesting sketches, and I thought it would be fun to just use this panel for that. Now off to the side, I have already done my cutting, and I've got the other strips that are part of that paper, because I had a 6x6 sheet here, and so I went ahead and cut it, and I'm going to just trim off that extra there because I didn't quite get it laid down evenly, or else it moved when I put it in there, and so the edge of this didn't get foiled. And since I'm going to use this whole piece here, I want to make sure it's all foiled. So I'm running it back through again and making sure I have that little edge there covered so that it'll be foiled as well. And I have ran my panels through multiple times before, and it doesn't create a problem. So you can see it foiled real nicely because you can see the outline of the pattern. So it did foil very nicely, and I'm real satisfied with that. Now I've got this negative portion of my foil sheet, and I thought I'll just grab one of my toner sheets and lay this on there, and we'll foil this up. I thought I would just go ahead and do it while I'm here and I've got it out, because if I lay it in that foil drawer, who knows how long it would be in there before I'd foil it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and foil it, and then I'll have a panel that I can work with at some other time. So I'm just going to run it through real quick. And I've just got to remember to get my fuse out and use it. And so this March bonus printable will be a good time to do it. So I'm going to begin making some things with the printable. But here is the negative piece, and it looks gorgeous. You can see that cheer foil almost looks like little sequins or something, and it's got a rainbow color to it. So that panel is good to go, and we'll just lay it aside and I can do something else with it. Now I'm going to work on this one, and I've just got the portion of the pieces there that will go on sketch 1 and sketch 2. And so I've just taken a little bit of pink pixie tape, and I'm trying to pick up a little overfoiling that was on there. So I've got them all cut out according to the sketch, and I've got some layers so that I can layer it up. And I've also got to grab some panels for the back of it. So I'm going to grab these black panels that I have here. And this is just some inexpensive black paper that I'd gotten at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to kind of lay this out and see if I like how this is going to look, whether I want to use the black or if it's too dark or what. So I'm just going to kind of position these and determine if I want to, in fact, use it. And I like the way it looks. So we've got red and white, black and gold, and I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to cut these down and to A2 size, and then I'm going to bring in an embossing folder, and I'm going to emboss this. Now this embossing folder is currently on sale at Spellbinders for $1. This is a 3D embossing folder. I think it's called Beveled Diamonds, and you can pick this up for $1 right now on Spellbinders. I'll link it in the description box below, but I'm just going to emboss this. So here we go. I've got both panels embossed and ready to go for the 2 cards that I'm going to make. And that 3D embossing is just fantastic. You can just see how well that embosses. It's really a neat embossing folder. For a buck, I'd get it. So I'm going to bring in a couple of card bases, and I'm going to just score them up with my Score Buddy. And I'm just going to do, score them at 4 1/4. And they're going to be, I think both of them will be top folding cards. So, and I've got some, I don't know what I got on both of these panels. I kind of pointed it out. It looks like some ink blending or something, but I'm going to turn it and I'll put the black panel on top of it to cover up the ink that is on there, and that'll take care of it. So I was going to bring in that little glue bottle, but it was clogged up. So I grabbed my Sweet Petunia and I'm going to glue it up. It's flowing freely, which is good. And I'm going to get this laid down here on my panel, and I'm going to trim it up because it had a little bit of white edge on there. And we'll just get to putting the sketch one together. And I've cut this according to the sketch. Last time I did it, I just laid it on a full sheet and just cut around it and did it that way. But I'm going to do it according to how the sketch shows. But then I realize I need to back that piece of white because it's going to be uneven. So I'm laying it down, checking it out, and trying to make sure that I'm, got the edges lined up right and everything. I'm going to add some glue to it. I think I lay it down and then I realize it's going to be uneven. And so I decide that I'm going to go ahead and cut that red off, or some red off. I could have just cut the edge of that off, I think. And I'm going to lay it down on there, and that way it'll level it up. And I'm going to have to trim it up. Yeah, and then I'll get it laid down on there. I just need a good clean edge there. Lay that down, and then we'll flip it over and trim this part off. Oh, looks like I moved it. I'm going to have to do a little bit more trimming. There we go. Just getting it cleaned up, and we've got that laid down on there. I like the red and the gold and the black together. I think it looks really pretty. And you could actually leave it just like that, and it'd be a really cool card. But we'll go ahead and lay the other panel down on there. And I'm just cleaning off some glue and pushing it down. I'm going to set my little stamp press down on that just to add a little weight so that it'll glue down. And we'll get some glue laid down on this, and we'll trim this one out as well. There we go. I'm just trying to get it lined up. I'm trying to get the edge to be similar to the other side, but I think I made one a little bit thinner than the other, but that's okay. So I'm going to take some more and just layer it up, and we'll get real even and everything. So today was another beautiful day. We did have, it started off really nice, and then we had some rain. We even had, as I was making this video, my grandsons were asleep. We'd gone to the library and had fun, and they were exhausted when we got home. They both fell asleep in the car on the way home, and I put them down for a nap, and I thought I'll just make a real quick card while they're sleeping. And while I'm doing this, the weather alarm went off in the other room, and it said we were under a tornado watch, and then the sirens went off. So I kind of stopped in between making this, and I ran outside to look and see, if I saw anything in the sky or whatever. We'd had just a heavy downpour of rain, and it just blew in and blew out real quick. I mean, it was really nice before that, and then even after it. It did cool off a little bit afterward, but it was really overall a fairly nice day, with the exception of that heavy downpour and the sirens going off. But anyway, so that's what I was doing while making this card, was, checking the weather radio and checking the sky and everything, making sure everything was okay. Now I'm going to go on to sketch 2, and this one just uses the two, I guess, triangle type pieces there. And I think those other smaller ones go on another card, and I just have them laying there. So I decided, instead of doing red, I would do blue on this one. Since I'm just making these sketches individual, I'm just dragging in some scraps and using them for the layers on this. And for this one, I just decided you could, I think the sketch had the dimensions of what you're using, but I had this panel and I thought I could just lay each one on each corner of this panel and then cut it away and then get it laid down. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to take my scissors and just try to trim it as best I can. These Tim Holtz scissors are good for these trims like this because they're just really big. And so that's what I'm going to do on that. And figure out how to get this laid down on here to where it's evenly spaced like it should be. I was checking to see if they were the exact same size. They are, and they should be because I laid them on top of each other to cut, so I don't know why I double checked it, but I did lay those two panels on top of each other to cut them, and I would recommend doing that when you're working with the sketch cutting. And we'll get this lined up on there. And I think I've got a pretty good edge on there. And then I lay it down and I'm like, I'm not sure that they're lined up exactly corner to corner there. So I just took that other piece of paper and just butted it up against and made sure they were straight. I watched Lynn from LV Handcrafted do that. And I thought, well, I'll just give it a whirl. So that's what I did. And now I'm just going to put a cinnamon on here. I've got this happy birthday. Now these cinnamons that I used are from Pink and Maine as well, I believe. I think, yeah. And I just, I had this happy birthday one here with the balloons already done, already cut out and everything. And then the Thinking of You one, I did foil it off camera because I needed something to go on an oval there. And so I'm just going to lay these down on here, and I've got 2 birthday cards. Now, I'm not going to add any additional embellishments to it because I think the foil on there really adds to it. So I hope you like these. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.